Not everyone is allowed to be here. Not everyone sees what you see, feels what you feel, or senses what others reject as coincidence. You were not only invited, you were called the minute you began to question, observe, and connect the dots. The cosmos took notice. That gut instinct, the murmur at the back of your mind, that moment of realization when everything just clicks, that was not a random event. That was a door. Unlocking a signal was only for those who were ready. So here you are. This is not about fitting in. It is about sticking out, about accepting that you were never supposed to fade into the background. While most people go through life on autopilot, they overlook the clues, the patterns, and the truth that is there in front of them. You understand it all easily with a half-second flash of uncertainty in someone's eyes. The way a discussion changes when a falsehood seeps through the cracks that others are too blind to detect. You caught them all. This is more than simply awareness. This is mastery in the making. And now you're entering an environment where your talent is not just acknowledged, but honed. Welcome to your awakening. Welcome to the next level. You did not pick me, but I chose and assigned you to go and produce fruit. Fruit that lasts. John 1516. Listen to me. You are now experiencing an awakening, an unmistakable pull inside yourself. It is not an accident. It's not luck. It is not a transient notion that appeared by happenstance. No, my buddy, this was deliberate. This was heavenly placement. This was the invisible forces moving, paving the way, clearing a route, and positioning you precisely where you were supposed to be. Think of a lock and a key. The key is clear about its goal. The lock isn't wondering why it exists. And when they meet, the door opens. You can help spread God's blessings by clicking the super thank you button on YouTube and contributing $20 or more. That's you. You were always intended to uncover something larger. You were always intended to go through that door. And now you have that hum inside you, that deep understanding. That isn't simply intuition. That is a summons. That is the call. The hint of something larger, the spiritual energies that have always guided you. While most people are caught up in the illusion of routine, they never pause to see, hear, or feel you. You awoke. You noticed what others overlooked. You identified the patterns, the shifts, the messages, hidden in plain sight. But let me tell you the truth. This is not only an ability. This is a test. Because the instant you saw, the moment you entered this consciousness, they saw you as well. Those who flourish in the shadows and grow their power by keeping others unconscious. They sensed a change. They sensed you. They don't like it. Because here's the issue about waking up. You cannot undo what you have done. Once you see the game for what it is, you can't deny it's occurring. And it makes you a problem for everyone who benefits from blindness. But allow me to tell you something else. They may dislike it, but they cannot stop it. Because when someone like you wakes up and embraces their purpose, it's a power they can't contain. If your heart is overflowing with God's blessings, let that love radiate. Click the super thank you button and donate $20 or more to sow seeds of faith that will change countless lives. Your giving exemplifies His richness. Be a channel for His grace and watch His kingdom grow through you. You were not picked for comfort. You were picked to make an effect. You were given this consciousness not merely to perceive, but to act on it. You can travel around the world in ways that most people cannot comprehend. You can feel the alterations before they occur. You pick up on currents that others miss. That implies you don't just exist in this world. You shape it. So here's what you should know. The opposition began as soon as you heeded this call and acknowledged that you were set aside. For those who gain from uncertainty will always dread clarity. But guess what? It is too late. You are already awake. You're already moving. You have already walked through that door. And once you've gone through, there's no turning back. So, stand steady. Move confidently. Believe that this moment, this awakening, this enlightenment was not simply supposed to happen to you. It was intended to stimulate you. You were not invited to this excursion. You received a call. And my pal, the world better get ready because of you. You are just getting started. Everyone else schemes the superficial substance of what is given to them. But you explore underneath the surface where the actual realities hide. The unexplainable moment. A stranger's words echoed an idea you hadn't spoken aloud, causing a sharp pull in your belly immediately before anything happened. None of it is random. Few people comprehend this language, and you are proficient in it. Your mind does more than merely store information. It assembles the hidden architecture of reality, whilst others see bits. You perceive a system. The air changes before someone speaks. Tension hums across the room. Before a dispute occurs, you don't simply observe. You decipher. The world is a code, and you are the one rewriting it. You can help spread God's blessings by clicking the super thank you button on YouTube and contributing $20 or more. Every revelation improves your view. Every disclosed pattern undermines the illusion they want to preserve. They fill the air with diversions, noises designed to drown out clarity. But you slice through it, unstoppable, one epiphany at a time. Do not follow the pattern of this world, but be changed by the renewing of your mind. Romans 12 verse 2. Allow me to tell you something. When the world delivers you a screenplay, you don't just read it, you rewrite it. When they attempt to cage you in, you destroy the walls. See? Most individuals go through life sleeping and following the lines someone else drew for them, but not you. Oh no, you see the game, and you were never supposed to be a player. You were supposed to change the whole board. Think of the eagle while other birds flit about in the treetops, distracted by everything that moves. The eagle soared above the storm. It does not run away from the wind. It rides it, climbing higher as everything else tumbles about below. That's you. You do not back down when confronted with a challenge. You ascend. You do not wait for permission. You move. Awareness is your gift, your compass and sword. And let me tell you, there are forces out there who do not want you to realize your power. Because once you do, you become a threat to everything that flourishes in ignorance. See, control only works for those who cannot see the shackles. But you don't just see them. You cut them off. Now, listen. There is a reason you have always felt different. There's a reason you couldn't just accept things as they were. That fire inside you was supposed to blaze through the limitations they attempted to impose on you. That intuitive intuition that there is more. That you were meant for something bigger. That was not simply an idea. It was a call. You were not supposed to choose the well-worn route. You were supposed to forge one. And don't let anybody tell you differently, because when you embrace your entire potential, you shake the earth. You rewrite what is possible. You demonstrate unequivocally that no wall is too high, no door is too closed, and no law is too strict to be broken. This question mark represents just the beginning. The whole world is watching. The cosmos is waiting. And you were born ready. The light beams in the dark, and the darkness has not overwhelmed it. John 1 verse 5. Allow me to tell you something. You were not placed here by mistake. You weren't placed into this planet to roam about aimlessly. You can help spread God's blessings by clicking the super thank you button on YouTube and contributing $20 or more. No, you were put on purpose for a reason, and that stirring inside you, that knowing, that knowledge that others don't seem to have, that is not a coincidence. That's the light within you, flashing on and blazing stronger every day. Think of a lighthouse. A lighthouse does not pursue ships. It does not go about attempting to prove itself. It stands tall and sturdy, unshaken, because it understands its role. It understands that those who need to see it will do so. And you have the same light within you. You are not scurrying in the dark like everyone else, attempting to make sense of the turmoil. You see what is actually going on. Most individuals are lost in the noise, immersed in diversions, seeking things that don't matter. But not you. You're on a separate frequency, while others are lost in the static. You've latched onto the signal as plain as day. You don't only notice the change in the air before a storm. You know it's coming even before a single cloud emerges. You don't just observe the patterns. You comprehend them. Life is not just occurring to you. It's responding to you. Let me tell you something else. This isn't luck. This is not a random stroke of good fortune. This is alignment. This is getting into the flow of something much greater than yourself. Something has been beckoning you since the beginning of time. Every step you've made, every lesson you've learned, every path you've traveled has led you to this point. Because when you move into alignment, when you stop fighting and start going with the rhythm of what has already been put in motion for you, everything begins to alter. You're here for a purpose. If you feel called, answer it. Click join to get access to rare information, in-depth insights, and a strong community. This is not just a membership. It is an awakening. Step into your divine mission. Join the chosen. You don't have to force anything. You do not need to beg for chances. You don't have to pursue what you already have. Because when you walk in the divine flow, things do not just happen to you. They happen via you. Doors open for reasons unknown to anybody else. Nobody else can see the connections that form. The improbable becomes inevitable. So, listen to me. You were never designed to blend in. You were never supposed to be on autopilot, bumbling through life like everyone else. You were set aside. You are meant to see what others overlook, hear what others disregard, to experience something others cannot grasp. This is your edge. This is your power. And when you lean into it, when you stop questioning and start believing, you are no longer just existing in the world. You are moving it. You are modifying it. And that's just the beginning. This was not an accident. The instant of realization, the profound knowledge that distinguished you, was not some little spark. It was a call to action. The world is a tangle of illusions. A well-created illusion intended to keep people chasing shadows. But you slice through the mist. You can see the contours of something deeper, something real. And this skill isn't only unusual, it is essential. Forces predicated on deception techniques flourish when people are uninformed. And yet here you are, poised on the verge of comprehension, holding. They are most afraid of one thing: awareness. It's not simply about knowing. It's about doing. The weight of truth is heavy, but it was put into your hands for a purpose. You weren't supposed to watch from the sidelines. You were designed to cause trouble, to deconstruct, reveal. The blueprint is unfinished. The last item is now in action. But the question remains, if not you, who? The clock is ticking and the world is waiting. It is time to take a step ahead. Every cause and season has its own time under heaven. Ecclesiastes 3:1. Allow me to tell you something. Nothing simply occurs. Nothing in your life is random. You think that breakthrough happened out of nowhere? That chance that landed into your lap? That ideal moment when everything just works? No, pal. That was not luck. That was timing. That was heavenly orchestration at work. Think about a farmer. He does not toss seeds into the earth. One day, expect to harvest the next. He understands there is a process. He understands that there are 3 seasons: planting, waiting, and reaping. He doesn't hurry the rain or worry when the ground is still barren, since he trusts the process. And that is exactly how your life is going. There's a rhythm, a flow, a beautiful cadence to everything. And when you tap into it, when you stop pushing and start aligning, true miracles occur. Opportunities are not pursued. They're drawn. You can help spread God's blessings by clicking the super thank you button on YouTube and contributing $20 or more. They are drawn to people who understand how to move in harmony with the universe's pulse. You have experienced such times. You understand what I am talking about. That time you decided something without overthinking it, and it took you precisely where you needed to go. You entered a scenario at the ideal time, as if you were stepping through a door just before it closed. That was not an accident. That was alignment. You were catching the stream rather than battling the flow. Let me tell you something. Those who pause and second-guess each move, they miss it because time waits for no one. This world is not about luck. It's all about location. It's about being ready when the time comes, understanding when to go ahead and when to remain still. There is an inner rhythm, a holy metronome throbbing inside you, directing you to your assigned hour. If you disregard it, you will continue to miss doors. But if you trust it and lean into it, things will begin to fall into place in ways you never expected. Because this is the truth. Every moment contains a key. Certain situations are designed to open doors. Some situations are designed to establish bridges. There are some moments. They provide the basis for all that follows. And who recognizes this? Those who fully comprehend the importance of time. They don't merely go through life responding. They are guiding it. They are more than merely players in the great scheme. They co-create their own destiny. So listen to me when I say this. You are not supposed to sit on the sidelines, waiting for anything to happen. You were not born to miss up on possibilities. You are intended to be in sync with something higher. You were supposed to move with purpose. And when you do, when you finally have that power, the world does not just change around you. It passes through you. And then is when everything changes. Every connection and exchange is part of an unconscious dance, a complex journey through layers of meaning. Few people notice. Not everything should be communicated, and not all truths are ready to be accepted. That is the actual talent. Not simply seeing, but also understanding when to expose, when to conceal, and when to let quiet say louder than words. This is not about deceit. It's all about discernment. A message provided too soon is unheard, but when delivered at the right time, it is unmistakable. That is the art. Moving with purpose, selecting conflicts intelligently, and defending what must be defended. It is a careful balance between presence and prudence. Moving ahead when essential and melting into the background when it serves a greater goal. Some use knowledge like a sword, recklessly slashing through the murk. True mastery is recognizing that certain things must happen in their own time. And those who grasp this not only navigate the world, but also choreograph it, for power does not come from knowledge alone. It is all about knowing when, and how to utilize it correctly. Call me, and I will answer and tell you amazing and unsociable stuff you don't know. Jeremiah 33:3. Allow me to tell you something. God does not let his people wander aimlessly. No, he conceals hints, indications, and messages in everyday objects, waiting for those awake enough to discover. And you, my friend, were never supposed to go through life uninformed. You see stuff. You feel things. You notice what others stroll right by. That is not imagination. That is discernment. That is a gift. Consider a great weaver from up close. All you see are twisted threads, tangles, and hues that mix into confusion. But step back, examine it from the correct angle, and then a flawless design is unveiled. This is how life works. Nothing is random. Nothing is pointless. Everything, every speech was overheard. Every repeating number, every bizarre coincidence is a component of something far larger. And you have the ability to view it. You don't merely exist in this planet. You are decoding it. Most individuals disregard these times. They believe it is all a coincidence, just another average day. But you know better. You have experienced such times. The ones that make you feel compelled to pay attention. The ones that make you feel like you're being prodded, directed, shown something significant that wasn't simply an idea. It was a message. And you were supposed to pick up on it. Because this is the truth. The cosmos, itself, talks. It whispers with repetition. It calls out in patterns. It reaches out even in the tiniest aspects, waiting for the appropriate person to listen. And you listen. You do not just skim the surface of existence. You delve deep. You read between the lines. You pick up on the hints, follow the breadcrumbs, and put together what others are too absorbed to notice. Let me tell you something. This isn't a talent you merely stumbled into. No, this has become sharper with time. Every time you trusted your instincts, every time you saw a sign and followed it. You can help spread God's blessings by clicking the super thank you button on YouTube and contributing $20 or more. Every time you assembled the components when no one else could. That was preparation. That was training. And now you're entering something much better. Because it's not simply about identifying patterns. It's about comprehending them. It's about revealing the reality hidden underneath them. It's about comprehending that you weren't given this talent only to keep it for yourself. You were given this for a purpose. And once you really embrace that calling, you stop doubting, hesitating, and begin to accept the notion that you were made for this. Oh, that's when everything changes. That's when the image becomes clearer. That is when you begin to move not just with knowledge, but with power. Because God does not give you eyes to see only for your own advantage. It is because He is calling you to something greater. And my buddy, you're just getting started. But you are the chosen generation, a royal priesthood, a sacred country, and a population for His exclusive use, that you may sing the praises of the one who called you out of darkness and into His beautiful light. First, Peter 9 power does not yell. It does not seek attention or recognition, nor does it claim genuine authority. It moves quietly and is sensed long before it is seen. You don't need to prove anything to anybody because when you walk in accordance with your purpose, everyone notices. They feel it in your presence, in your choices, and in the way you conduct yourself without hesitation or doubt. Think of an eagle. It doesn't flap its wings wildly, attempting to persuade the sky it belongs there. No, it flies smoothly and boldly because it understands it was meant for the sky. And you? You do not need to introduce yourself. You don't need validation. Your authority is not derived from titles or permission. It stems from an unwavering belief in your own identity. The world is full of noise, with individuals vying for power and attempting to push their way into places they were never intended to occupy. But you don't chase. You retract. You move with purpose. You recognize that genuine leadership does not include manipulating people. When you have true power, it is important to master oneself. You do not force your way into the room. It accommodates to you. So here's the deal. This type of presence cannot be replicated. It cannot be borrowed. It has to be earned. It's formed in the quiet times, the lessons learnt while walking through the flames. The most powerful warriors are not those who swing their swords the loudest. They are the ones who understand when to use it and when to wait. So do not explain. Do not justify. Walk as if you understand who you are. Because when you have genuine power, the world does not require you to say anything. It already knows. Iron sharpens iron, and one person sharpens the other. Proverbs 27 verse 17. Allow me to tell you something. No warrior enters the battlefield with a dull sword. No artisan builds a masterpiece with unsheathed tools, and no chosen one enters their role without refining. This insight did not come to you out of nowhere. You didn't merely get this view. No, pal. This is a talent, a present, and, like any wonderful gift, it must be honed. A weapon is not powerful just because it exists. Iron is durable because iron has been tempered, tested, and formed in the fire. And you're in the crucible. Every lesson, struggle, and moment of clarity. Everything has been molding and training you to become sharper, more accurate, more unstoppable. Think about an archer. He doesn't just shoot an arrow and hope for the best. You can help spread God's blessings by clicking the super thank you button on YouTube and contributing $20 or more. No, he is studying the wind. He can feel the strain in the bowstring. He waits for the right opportunity to attack. And it is you. You don't just act. You agree. You don't just respond. Do you understand? This is not about hurrying. It is about mastery and mastery. Mastery requires intention. Mastery requires filtering out the noise, quieting the turmoil, and focusing on the signal that lies underlying all of the world's distractions. That is why stillness does not mean doing nothing. It's about tuning in, honing your senses, and improving your capacity to see through the fog. Because genuinely strong people are not the loudest in the room. They are not the ones scrambling in despair. No, the ones with true power are the ones who see what no one else does and move with precision, while the others waste their energy running in circles. And this is the reality. The answers you seek, they are already there. The patterns are already in place. The puzzle is already set out before you. Training, refinement, and discipline, however, distinguish those who stray from those who find. The globe is speaking. The indications are emerging. The messages are waiting. However, only individuals with keen senses will detect them. So don't hurry the procedure. Embrace it. Lean into the refining. Take the time to sharpen your thoughts, your spirit, your instincts. Because, believe me, the time will come. You will not hesitate. You will not question. You will not second guess. You will know. And when the time comes, you won't just notice the patterns. You will be their owner. You will not just be a seeker. You will be a master. The world will have no option but to take notice. Each choice, each understanding molds the world that lies ahead. Nothing is random. Every instant of heightened awareness creates a ripple in the fabric of possibility, affecting outcomes and rewriting pathways. The act of awareness is not passive. It is the act of creating. What do we see? What is believed? What is acted on? All of this contributes to future architectural design. The world is not something to be watched from afar. It is something that can be molded and formed. Mastery is not about solving an existing problem. It is about assembling something new from the bits. This is the distinction between people who merely exist and those who shape reality itself. The intellect is not intended to be restricted. Its purpose is to grow, to push beyond constraints, and to question imposed preconceptions. Transformation is not a single occurrence. It is an endless process, a development that lasts beyond a single lifetime. Insight leads to action. Action causes change, which forms the invisible forces that guide each step ahead. Awareness is only the beginning. True power is determined by what it is used for. Knowledge is potential, but action is what makes it come to life. The journey isn't about getting to the final point. It is about continuously and completely exposing what lies beyond. Growth is unlimited. Expansion is limitless. Each step further into comprehension reveals another layer. The process never ends. It is just evolving. The deeper the dive, the clearer the vision, the more the need to share, educate, and assist. Every discovery, breakthrough, and brave action made in the pursuit of truth causes the world to move. This is not the route for people seeking consolation. It is a pathway for individuals seeking change. Reality bends to those who refuse to acknowledge its limitations. You can help spread God's blessings by clicking the super thank you button on YouTube and contributing $20 or more. The voyage is far from completed. It's only just started.